Hey guys, what is up? I'm back with another video for you today. If I sound a little sick, my throat, it really hurts to talk. I am kind of sick, I guess you could say. As you probably saw by the title of this video, yes, I did have a near-death experience and I did almost die. This is not clickbait whatsoever. It's kind of why I'm talking quieter. I'm probably gonna cry because like every time I think about it, I start to cry because honestly it was so traumatizing and like it's kept me up too. Like I've had nightmares and stuff, but I figured I'd share it with you guys because I finally, I think, have opened up to talk about it, and I feel like this is the next step for me, you know, to like get over that and get over what I went through. So let's just get on with it. So a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, it was June 9th, though 1 week exactly after my birthday, or June 8th, let's start at June 8th. It was a Thursday, and I really just didn't feel good. I started to get out of breath. My friend was actually over for a little bit, and I had to like tell her to go home. I didn't feel great. I was out of breath. I was just sleeping all day. My head hurt. I really didn't feel good, so I was like, oh, maybe it's a cold, or, you know, maybe it's like, maybe I just don't feel good today. It's whatever. So I called my mom. She was at work, and I let her know. She was like, okay, I'll see you know when I get home later. Just sleep it off. So that's pretty much what I did. I took a bunch of Tylenol because really it's the only painkiller. Like I can't have Advil. I can't have any of that kind of stuff like ibuprofen because of my liver transplant last year. I can't have specific medicine with like a different person's liver, I guess. So my mama got home, and I still didn't feel good, and I just was like, whatever. Then I just sit in a nice bath or shower. I can't remember which one. Usually when I'm sick I take baths just because it's nice to chill. And I was like, I was hot, cold. That's kind of how I was. So I did like a kind of cold shower. Like it was a little on the colder side than what I usually do. Just to like, because it was really, really hot, and I felt like I had turned the heat all the way up, like to where I was sweating and I was overheated. So cold water kind of felt nice. So I took a pretty long shower. I usually take long showers anyway, but I took a pretty long one. And I had gotten out, and I had my hair wrapped up as I usually do, and I went and I sat down on the couch, and I felt it coming, and I ran to the bathroom. My mom was on the phone with my brother at the time, and I had thrown up. Keep in mind, I haven't thrown up probably since 5th grade, like elementary school, and I'm a junior now. I really don't throw up much, like, so that was kind of weird, and my mom's like, okay, maybe you have a stomach bug, maybe you. And whenever stuff like this happens, you know, we usually let the hospital know because I have a blood disorder called ITP, which is a totally different story at this point. So I was like, whatever, I'll go to bed, shake it off. I went to bed, and my mom woke me up Friday. She had a procedure done. She had an ovary removed. It was just same day, go there, go back. And I called my grandma, and I told her I didn't feel good the night before. So my mom woke me up like 7-ish. And she goes, okay, we're going to leave. Need anything, call your dad because I'll be under. So I was like, okay. So I went back to bed, and I woke up at 10 because I have to take some medication at 10. And that's usually when I do my, you know, let the dog out, and that's my morning routine kind of thing. So I let the dog out, and I just really didn't feel good. So honestly, I took my medicine, and like at this point I didn't eat dinner Thursday, and I didn't eat that morning. I really was not hungry. I was nauseous, so I tried to have like a little orange juice, I guess, just like something, and I was out of breath, so I kept drinking, but it was on off. Like I wanted a lot of water, or I either didn't want something to drink. So whatever. Fast forward a couple hours, my parents come home, and my mom looks honestly like she didn't have surgery done. She's just like so chill. Hey, what's up? I'm like, oh, okay. I look a lot worse when I have surgery done. So I was laying in my parents' bed because like the couch didn't feel good to me. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get up. My mom needs to lay down. She did not lay down. She was just moving around all day. But I just really didn't feel good. So my mom called the hospital or the doctors, whatever. My doctors work at the hospital. And they said, hey, you need to go get some blood work done. Well, we have like, it's almost like an urgent care kind of thing for our hospital. It's like a little branch. It's pretty close to me, about 20, 30 minutes. So we went, and I just did not feel good. And we got our blood work done. And like the whole time I'm thinking, I want to go home. I want to go home. And my grandma had even like brought me soup, and I couldn't eat it at this point. So finally get up my blood work, finally get home, and I like had went back to bed. And my mom, probably at like probably at like 9 o'clock. I'm trying to think what time it was. It was 7. It was 7. Okay, 7. She gets a call, and they're like, you need to bring her to the ER now. And like I had been to the ER at this point probably 2 times in the past month, just for other stuff. So my dad was gonna drive me. My mom couldn't drive, and my dad told, my mom, stay here, stay here. So she did stay and rest, and she had to take care of the dogs. We have a new puppy. He didn't see I have a new puppy, but she needed to be taken care of as well as my other dog. So we had gone, and like the whole way down the road, I was like, hey, do you want to like stop for drive-through? I'm like, man, I do not feel good. I just want to get there. I'm like, I kind of knew it was serious. Like, I started to cry a little bit because like I had overheard my mom and dad talking like she could die on the way there, and I was like, what? And like this could have totally been in my head. My parents could have not said this, but that's what I had heard. So I started freaking out. So I texted my brother on the way. Hey, we're going to the hospital. Just to let you know, cause oh my god, I'm about to start crying because he used to be in the loop. Oh my god, I'm gonna start crying. I don't wanna. So we had gotten there to the ER. Oh my god, I'm really sorry. We had gotten to the ER probably like 9 o'clock. And usually what happens is you sit in the waiting room, you go, you get your vitals done, and if you don't know what vitals are, that's like blood pressure, your finger pressure, I don't know, like when they do that thing on your finger, I don't know what it's called. And if you need blood work, you get that done. You get, if you have a fever, the typical like basic. So, and then you go sit back down after you get your vitals done, and you wait for them to call you. Well, I went and I got my vitals done, and they were like, okay, you need to go now to a room, which I was like, wow, that's the fastest we've ever got a room. Wonder why. Like I had skipped one of the like, I guess, waiting rooms. There's like 2 for not as urgent cases, I guess, which I usually go to. So, oh my god, like I'm tearing up a little bit. Okay. So I'd skipped that. Keep in mind, I'm like, I don't really know what's going on at this point. I'm almost like dead, it feels like. I was like half asleep. I didn't know what was going on. And my dad's just sitting there playing on his phone, like, so this, the nurse walks in, and she was like, hi, and what they usually do is say, name, date of birth, any medication, kind of update your profile. Honestly, it's kind of like social media, but they kind of update your profile. Any new medications, any traveled out of the country in the last 30 days, anybody, relatives have measles, typical questions that we get asked every time we go, so I'm not thinking much about it. And I get my blood pressure, and they're like, and these 2 doctors just look at each other. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, they're looking at you. Apparently it was like 69 over something. It was really low, pretty much. Like, it was, I can't remember the word. I feel like I was anemic. I think that's the word I'm looking for here. If it's not, I'll put it somewhere on the screen if I'm not correct. But the nurse, like, there's 2 nurses really that were working on me first. So they were coming in. I'm keeping in mind, like, half of this is a blur because I've been on so many medications and like steroids since then. But they put me on medications, No, they hadn't. What am I saying? Oh my god, I'm sorry. Totally different visit. They're taking my blood and stuff, and this one comes in to try to do my IV, and I'm like, Well, they put 2 IVs in, one here and one here, and I was like, well, that's weird. Why do I need 2? And by this time, there's like 3-4 nurses. Like, they're accumulating, and like, I'm in a pretty compact room. Like, it's small, probably about as big as my bedroom, which my bedroom's really not that big, or smaller. And keep in mind, when there's a bunch of medical equipment in it, yeah. So, I'm like, oh, okay. And I just hear, take it or critical care. And I was like, critical care? What? I don't get a critical care. So they take me to critical care. As they're like, or I guess as they're ruling me out, I don't remember critical care room, but I just hear, take her to trauma. Which, like, if you don't know what trauma is, that's like the really big deal, like the Grey's Anatomy, I guess, like the trauma center if you like get shot or if there's a plane crash. Keep in mind, this isn't as big as what I'm having, I felt like. So there's like regular, like you break your arm, whatever, or you have like a sneeze, or, there's critical care, which is like, okay, this is getting serious. And there's trauma care, like, okay, now, so I'm in trauma, and I'm in this big room. And at this point, all I like can really remember, I guess, is like there's 10 to 12 nurses like flooding around me. Like, I'm like, oh crap, this is serious. And my dad is like pushed in the corner with my book bag, like holding it. Like, he couldn't even get near me anymore at this point. So he had stepped out of the room, and then apparently he had called my mom and been like, you need to get up here. So they're pumping like lots of fluid. I probably had about 3 units of blood, which is a pretty decent amount in me, because apparently the reason I was out of breath is because I had no blood in my lungs. So I was like pretty much low on blood, like I had no blood in me. Sorry. So they're running around pumping stuff into me. I mean, like, they really, like, if one left, somebody else came back in. Like, there was always somebody in there with me, it felt like. And my dad, once again, still in the corner. And he was like, your mom's coming. She can't drive because of her surgery, but, and like, keep in mind, this is probably 11 o'clock midnight. But my dad's parents and my grandparents were coming to, pick her up. Sorry, getting teary-eyed again. Oh my god. And like, keep in mind, like, yeah, okay, whatever. I couldn't really talk much at this point. I'm sorry. I really am. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to mess up my makeup at the same time. So in this moment, like, as I'm like, I guess dying, you could say, like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, what if this is it? Like, what if I die today, I'm sorry, like, and you start to think stupid stuff, like, who would come to your funeral, and like, I'm never gonna get married, I'm never gonna graduate high school. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. You start to think, what if this is it? Like, I'll never get a car, I'll never, know what it's like to do, go to college, get a job, have kids, like, this is how I'm gonna leave the world with, like, not really leaving my mark. Like, I haven't really left my mark, I guess you could say, and, like, this is what I'm starting to think. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm crying. And it's just gonna happen too. So a little time goes by as they're pumping fluids and stuff, and I'm like half asleep. So, and keep in mind, like, at this point I was so cold, and like, I think it was like 82 degrees in there. They had like 4 heated blankets on me, and I was still really cold. But they had finally taken about like 2 of those off, and at this point there was about only 2 nurses in there. And my mom's parents had come, and there was only allowed to be 2 people at once back there. So my dad had to like trade off. when people came in, so my grandma and grandpa came in to say, you know, hey, what's up? And everyone's like crying at this point but me, because like, I don't really know what's going on. I was feeling a little better, but still not good. So, and my grandpa had really just like come in. He really doesn't like hospitals, so he had come and say hey, and then my dad had come back because, you know, my dad needed to be there, I guess. My grandma sat with me until my mom got there. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry so much. But she had finally got there, and, you know, she was just telling me to hold on as much as I could. And, I guess that's when I got to realize how serious this was, when everybody was coming and my dad's parents came and said, hey, they were the ones who drove my mom. And they had come and, you know, sat with me. And really, my grandparents didn't need to be driving at night. Like, they had both woken up. Because it's like midnight, 1 a.m. at this point. So, after a couple hours, I was finally stabilized enough to go to a room. And I was taken to the blood disorder and cancer floor. So that's been my home for the past month. I haven't been in the hospital because of that one reason for a month, but I've been to the hospital quite a bit. In June, it was just one of the first times. But they had taken me up, and it was a really nice room. It's pretty big. But I had just went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning and I had the crabbiest little breakfast, and they were like, okay, you're stabilized, you can go home. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I almost didn't want to leave just because of what had happened. Like, how do you almost die and then you can go home the next day? Like, what? They're like, you just need a little blood in you and you've got blood, so bye, leave. So I finally got to go home. So that was good. And I got to see my puppy. And that was like another thing I thought. You know, if I die, who's going to take care of my dog, you know? And like, my puppy won't remember who I am. But she knows me now. And I'm like so thankful that I lived. Because like, these past couple weeks, I guess, have been hard, but I'm just thankful that I'm here. Oh my God, I'm gonna start crying again, I'm really sorry. But I'm just like so thankful that I'm alive today. And you know, I have plans in the next couple weeks. Not that big of plans, I'm probably like 2 plans for the whole summer, but you know, if I wasn't here, I wouldn't get to do those. So I'm just thankful that I'm alive, and you know, we're not promised today or tomorrow, we're not promised to live. So, and like, honestly, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm still alive. But I hope I can figure out why. So, I'm really sorry, this hurts my throat too, oh my God. That's the story, I guess, on how I almost died. I'm doing a little better now. I still have my blood disorder, and I'm gonna have to live with that for the rest of my life, but it's hard. I just got back from the doctor like a couple hours ago too. If y'all want to hear more hospital stories, let me know. I've been to the ER probably like 4 or 5 times this month, or June. I guess it's July now. So I was trying to lighten the mood. We're going back to school. I wanted to bring a fun video. This isn't fun, is it? This just makes everybody more sad. I promise next week our video will be a little more upbeat. God, I don't even know if I'm gonna upload this. I just figured I'd share it with you guys, you know? Well, you guys, thank you for watching, I guess. Subscribe if you want.